Well, hello everybody. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture. I go by the nickname Ginger. It's not cute, not knowing. I've got so much to tell you today. Let's start with our hug because sometimes you just need a little hug, a little kindness to get through the day. Tyler Perry is stepping up. He's going to be paying for the funeral service for Rayshard Brooks. He was the 27-year-old father of four who was killed in Atlanta by police officers on Friday night. Everything is being filmed, including the body cam. When you saw what was an incident where a man was passed out in the car, you see this really cordial conversation. How did it end with a man being shot in his back? These are a lot of things that people are talking about. There has to be a better way for policing. There just has to be a better way. Okay, he broke away. He took your stun gun. So you shoot him in the back and you kill him. There has to be a better way. This officer who got fired, for killing him, he was written up like 12 times, and a couple of years ago, excessive force. We're seeing things filmed. We're seeing people's behavior. If you know you're being filmed, stop with the foolishness because you're going to lose your job. Stop. Stop being so bold and just ignorant to the fact that you can't lose your job. We're seeing things and what's playing out right now in Atlanta. Tyler Perry is also going to pay for Mr. Brooks' kids to go to college. So he's not only paying for the funeral, but he's going to pay for them to go to college. Now, there was a Wendy's restaurant that was burnt down, and they're looking for the white woman who did it. Please stop doing stuff and saying that you're doing it for Black Lives Matters. That's not Black Lives Matters burning down the Wendy's. That's not. They're looking for this woman. People want to do, crazy things maybe to get their message across. Please don't tag along with the Black Lives Matters because this is becoming a whole mess within itself. Who told you to burn down the Wendy's? They got her on film too. That's how they knew, and they're looking for this woman. Congratulations, Nick Cannon. He's gracing the cover of Variety magazine. He's got a new talk show that's coming daytime in the fall. He's your host for The Masked Singer. He's got 2 kids by Mariah Carey. The baby mother, last baby mom, son's mother. She's pregnant again. And there are models all over the place claiming their love for Nick Cannon. For those who are saying, Nick kind of corny. Nah, Nick got something going on. Because Nick Cannon is pulling it in. Let's talk about ABC. There was a news exec who was let go. She worked in a department, I heard, in like HR. And she got put on administrative leave by some really vile things that she said. When Robin Roberts went for a raise and was negotiating, the woman allegedly said, she should be lucky she ain't picking cotton. They say her comments led to a very toxic environment. She was sexist, and they interviewed over 30 current and former staff. Guess what she said about Sunny Hostin? Sunny Hostin is more than just a pretty face on The View. She's a former prosecutor. Said that she was a low-rent talent. Sunny was devastated by this. Whoopi, they said, was friends with this woman. Nobody could believe it. They were like, she's been put on administrative leave. She won't be coming back. In a recent town hall that ABC held, Michael Strahan, Sarah, and Kiki, Good Morning America, Hall of Famer, former New York Giant football star. Why did he really leave his co-host position with Kelly Ripa? He says that he felt more like a sidekick and not a partner. He said he was afraid to speak up and raise his voice because he didn't want to come across as the threatening black man. He wasn't happy with Kelly Ripa and the way she responded, it turned me off from watching the show in the future. Like, I often wonder, is Ryan Seacrest really happy? They say that he wants to go back to LA. He's in LA now because of the virus, but he don't want to go back to New York. Could she be the reason that he don't want to go back to New York? But a lot of people wonder why Michael Strahan left the way that he did, because he left to really take on full-time duties at Good Morning America. But for him to speak up, to say he didn't want to seem threatening, but there were a lot of problems on that show. Singer Anita Baker. We know the song's been so long, Same Old Love, No One in the World, Caught in the Rapture, Sweet Love. What police officers are going to give Anita Baker problems? She's talking about it. Years ago, she performed at a venue, and she said that 3 men followed her home and stalked her for 3 days because they wanted her to sign an album cover. Well, Nita's like, no, she's the type of woman do not get on her nerves. She called the cops. Cops wouldn't do nothing. Anita Baker went over their heads to make sure that somebody would handle this situation. She says, as punishment, the cops would harass her on the road and give her tickets and tickets and tickets, and it made her stop driving. The words of Anita Baker. Can we talk Insecure? I said we were going to talk about it. I had a chance to participate in a virtual screening and discussion with one of the head writers, Prentice Perry, Issa Rae, Yvonne Origi, who plays Molly, and Jay Ellis, who plays Lawrence. Okay, so I took Sundays. I took it so personal. You would have thought he broke my heart. What I loved about this season of Insecure, they talked about mental illness. Molly having to see a therapist. Nathan admitting I'm bipolar. Even the postpartum with Tiffany. Talking about mental illness is something that we don't like to talk about. We just don't want to. We just be like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But sometimes you need a therapist. And I'm going to tell you, I'm hoping with this police reform, just getting off the subject a little bit, that with this police reform, that they get more officers to open up. It's not easy being a police officer. It's not. It's not. Can you imagine the mental strain? Maybe more of them need to talk to somebody and have that as part of their training, reform. Let's get back to Insecure. You know, the real love story in Insecure was the relationship between Issa and Molly. How they went from being so close to the relationship just changed. Sometimes relationships change because if you get a man, we all know that person, they get too cute when they get a man. And they don't want to be your friend no more, or there's a problem. It was heartbreaking to see these two not be friends anymore, but come together in the end. Now, will they go on to be friends in season 5? They said it's going to, the new season, we don't know when it's going to be because of COVID. The new season will show their road back to being friends. Will Issa and Lawrence still be together? He's having a baby by somebody else. Will they still be together? Season 5 of Insecure coming back to HBO. It'll probably be like next August. Because once COVID, people got to go back to work. Then they got to write it. Then they got to film it. But it'll come back. But I really enjoyed this season. I just really like invested so much of my heart for my heart to be broken when Lawrence said he had another girl pregnant. I was sending him crying emojis and the whole thing. Good news for rapper, actor 50 Cent. His show For Life has been renewed for a season 2 on ABC. The Oscars, the Academy Awards, have been pushed back until April 25th. They're trying to get way out of the way of COVID because they want to be able to have everybody seated in their seats and during their award show. Kevin Durant of the Brooklyn Nets, he has now getting into the soccer business. He's got a 5% ownership in the Philadelphia Union. The Roots Picnic. It's being reimagined virtually because of COVID. Saturday, June 27th on YouTube. The Roots Picnic is usually held in Philadelphia, but this year it's going to be done differently. It's going to be done virtually on YouTube. Questlove, Black Thought from The Roots. You may see them on Jimmy Fallon's late night show. They're teaming up with former First Lady Michelle Obama. She's got a voting initiative entitled When We Vote. And what she's going to be doing with this, teaming up with them, they've got Music Soul Child, Kirk Franklin, SZA, Snow Allegra, Kerry Washington, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Tom Hanks, Tracy Ellis Ross, Janelle Monáe. They're all joining forces for the Roots Picnic. Hopefully next year they can have it. It's like a real big event in Philadelphia. But this year, because of COVID, it's being done virtually. Jimmy Kimmel is not only going to be hosting this year's Emmy Awards, he's going to be the executive producer. We don't know if it's live. COVID's knocking everything out, or virtual, but the big day is September the 20th. Arthur Ashe, the tennis great, a movie is being made on his life. He was a real important icon, tennis ace, civil rights activist, AIDS activist. During the backdrop of 1968, when so much was going on, the assassinations of King, Kennedy, the riots, Vietnam, there was a lot going on. Arthur Ashe was the only black man to win the men's title at the U.S. Open, Australian Open, and of course, Wimbledon. They're saying the soundtrack is going to be hot. The man who co-wrote The Five Bloods with Spike Lee, he's writing it. They say the soundtrack is going to be awesome. Prince, Aretha Franklin, Curtis Mayfield. He not only was a civil rights activist, but he became an AIDS activist. He contracted HIV through a blood transfusion. He had to get open heart surgery. He gets a blood transfusion. He winds up getting HIV, and he wound up being an AIDS activist to really teach people about HIV and AIDS. He died at the age of 49. He was amazing, and I think this is going to be an amazing movie about his life. We covered a lot today. I told you guys I was going to talk about Insecure. So, for any spoiler alerts or anything like that. But I told you guys, I said, I'm talking about Insecure, y'all. Thanks so much for joining me. People say, where's Toya? Where's Dexter? They don't work in the studio, and I am in here by myself. We're trying to work on doing like a 1 week thing, once a week, trying to come together virtually. Dexter, you gotta work on that. I miss them. I'm sure you guys miss them too. They have real jobs. They don't just pop in. I am a radio announcer, so I'm here doing the radio. They have real jobs behind the scenes. No one is allowed in this business, in this building, because of COVID. We're all separated, and that is why they're not here. I don't even know when they're going to open this business, because they got all these cases where they're rising, so it changes day to day. But we are working on getting something together. We can at least come together once a week on this platform. But in the meantime, there's a saying in show business, the show goes on. So I will continue to be here to keep you up to date. It's not cute not knowing. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture, and I love what I do. At the end of the day, I love what I do in pop culture and entertainment and things that are going on. You can hit the subscribe button. You can tell a friend. We're building up the subscribers. I read every comment, which I'm sure shocks a lot of people, especially when we got to do the clap back. But I read every comment. You know that I've seen it, because I will leave a heart by it. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for joining us. This is the channel Pop Culture Entertainment. I'm Patty Jackson. Have a great day.